So yeah, man, that's a lot of projects in that time span. So what was the deciding factor for Troy to part ways, or even just think about putting together solo efforts?
At the time, really for me, it was like I wanted to. I don't know, man. I think I really just wanted to see what everybody could do. You feel me? At that time, it was
Mm-hmm.
like, we all played our parts in the group, but at the time, I felt like, only a couple of us was working a little harder. You feel me? Writing all the songs,
Mm-hmm.
being there at the studio sessions and stuff. So it just didn't seem like everybody was all in
Yeah.
at the time. So for me, it was like, okay, cool. We doing this. Let's figure it out. So, if you all in, let's knock this project out. And that's why we named it No Turning Back. Because once we got there, it was like, man, ain't no turning back from here. Whatever we going, whatever we doing moving forward is what
That's
we
what we
doing.
are.
You feel
Yeah,
me?
for
So
sure.
my thing was I wanted to come out and do, after that project, I had a goal of creating a project where each of us was able to put out 4 songs apiece. You feel me? So it was like, okay, cool. I go get my solo 4. Tone, you do 4 solo. DB, you do 4 solo. Rosario, you do 4 solo, and we make it a whole project.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So it was like we all got our own individual fans.
Wasn't that the format of No Turning Back or no?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But it was like at that time we were doing more solo songs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I might have had 1 or 2. Every project we always tried to make sure we at least had, or somebody had at least 1 solo.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I think at that time it just was a time where I was like, man, okay, let's all do 4. Let's come together and have a whole project since we all got our own audiences and stuff. And let's go out there, feed our audience, and then bring them back together. You feel me? And when we got out there, we start working, on our own. It was like, okay, cool. We had a timeline. Not everybody met that timeline. So it was like, okay, cool. Let's turn it into a solo project. I turned mine into a solo. Tone turned his into a solo. And then DB ended up dropping his solo project, I think maybe like a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
Rosario kind of just decided it wasn't for him at the time. So, we had to move on. But at that time, for me, it was like, if you don't want to do it, it's cool. You feel me? But just say that.
Yeah, and you were kind of just mindset on like this is something that you really want to do. So
Yeah.
regardless of what everybody else was doing, you was gonna move forward.
Facts.
Okay. So you're a solo artist now, and what year was this when you put your first solo project out?
2013.
Okay. Was that you mentioned that you started a relationship and partnership with Rich? Big Rich, was that a part of that same relationship?
Nah, at that time it was like we wasn't even really like dealing with each other at that time. We we kind of had a little mini falling out and stuff when we left 3 Story, and this might have been like a little before that, like 2011 maybe. Where it was a misunderstanding. Some things got said behind closed doors, and they kind of got brought to the attention. You feel me? It was definitely a miscommunication, and we ended up having words. And a lot of other people got involved, but we got it fixed immediately because me and him, we cool. That's my brother and everything. So, but we kind of had a sit down and just kind of talked about it. Like as far as like the group, he kind of just felt like everybody wasn't all in, and he didn't want to continue to move forward with everybody. So he was just like, he definitely offered me a situation like, if you want to be here, you can stay. You feel me? But he was just like everybody else, we don't click the same. I'd rather just part ways before it get messy.
Right.
And at that time, I was just like, nah, I wasn't ready to, to give up on who I
what
came in.
Working on.
Yeah,
he
was working on. So it was like, I respected it and everything, and he respected it, and it's cool. And I mean, which is why we cool now. So
yeah,
So
it's 2021, and you put your first project out in 2013. So that's 8 years of putting out solo projects.
Yeah.